Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Affirmative, affirmative. You're up and down. I'll give you a 5-6, a 5-6 into US
Listening
20.
to a little 10 meters this morning, seeing what's out there. I heard Ireland just a moment ago. Coming in really good. Propagation has been interesting on 10 meters, and it's supposed to be really good.
Did you just give me a 5-6? Did you just give me a 5-6?
Supposed to be really good throughout this next year.
I'm a 5-7. You're still a 5-6. The condition you were, you know what? I'm giving you a 5-7 because I believe earlier you were better in the beginning when you were calling me. QSL?
That's something we need to talk about sometime. Explain the radio RST signals
Roger, Rich, thanks for the
reports.
California. Thanks for the activation and being mobile. I am also mobile in the park. QSL?
So on 10 meters,
Affirmative. I don't have the California weather here, but it's actually warm
some really interesting things about 10 meters.
the last 2 weeks. QSL?
10 meters is part of HF, the high frequency spectrum. The high frequency spectrum spans between 3 megahertz to 30 megahertz. HF bands generally provide long range propagation. A lot of times they'll provide short range communications too, and that really depends on atmospheric conditions. So you hear that you'll hear that a lot. People talking about that a lot. Now the 10 meter band is 28 megahertz to 29.7. Now the obviously that's closer to the VHF UHF spectrum, and 10 meters behaves differently from lower HF bands like 80 meters or 40. Yep, turn that off. So the 10 meter band, 10 meter band's propagation is highly dependent on solar activity and the ionosphere, atmospheric conditions. So it's interesting.
Whiskey 6, Bravo, Oscar Tango, booming signal. You're 5-9 into US 2069, Harriman State Park in New York. QSL?
New York. I like sitting here and just listening who's out there. Excuse me.
Down here in Texarkana, Texas.
Texarkana, Texas.
I'm giving you the 599.
Cool.
Changing it because you're booming in to me. And,
Everybody operates a little bit differently. Some people are very formal. Some people are very loose on their formalities.
I hope you got great weather there. No snow. My brother had snow a couple weeks ago. Take care and thanks for the
Good propagation for 10 meters during what they call solar maximum. The 10 meter band is greatly affected by solar activity, sunspots, high solar activity. The ionosphere is more I can't talk. Ionized, excuse me, improving long range propagation on higher bands. The higher frequency waves are more easily reflected off the ionosphere, so signals will bounce all over the place, and it allows signals to travel much greater distances. And during solar minimum, low sunspot activity, the band becomes much less reliable for long distance communications, which is interesting. 10 meters is unique and special. I think it's cool. It's one of my favorite bands when it's open. It's like nothing else. Let's tune over here and see. See.
Whiskey 8, Yankee, Charlie, Mike, at home with a broken leg.
Oh no. Huh. Oh, that's what. Okay, that's probably a couple local guys talking. I don't hear a lot of on 10 meters today.
Sometimes I jump over to the dipole and it'll work better. It just depends on conditions which one's going to work the best.
Well, so referring to local propagation or what they call ground wave, unlike lower bands, 10 meters can support local communications. Like you can actually use 10 meters, especially on like FM. They used to do this a lot. Where there was a group of us in our area that would be on 10 meters. I want to say it's 29.6 something on FM. And we would talk around on simplex, just no repeaters or nothing like that. It's not how it works. You just radio to radio. And anyhow, the ground wave means the signals are traveling along the Earth's surface. It usually only works for shorter distances, like local distances, maybe. I don't know. I'm guessing we were probably 20 to 50 miles apart. You could probably get a little bit further on 10 meter ground wave, but it just depends. Like I said, it depends on all the conditions. It can support regional communications during daylight hours even. So yeah, it's interesting. Nighttime is better generally, but
Delta 2, Mike, Juliet, Romeo.
These guys are coming in really good. So like I said, I just like sitting here monitoring. Excuse me. The 10 meter band is well suited for a single sideband and Morse code due to its relatively high frequency. Sideband provides efficient communications with reduced bandwidth. So CW or Morse code allows for reliable low power communications. Both of those modes work really well when propagation is good. And you can get relatively long distances on those modes during periods of good atmospheric or ionospheric conditions. So the 10 meter band is pretty big. The band itself, typically there's less congestion than on like lower bands on 40 or 20. International communications, I think, is more common on 20 or 40. The 10 meter band is less populated. Mainly it's propagation and it's kind of sporadic and reliant on solar conditions. So when it's hot, you'll see a lot of stations on there, but conditions can make it less predictable. So this means the band is quieter. There's you can use it for more personal communication, like that guy said. He's just at home with a broken leg. You guys can probably hang out on a frequency and rag chew locally. And I hear that quite often. Guys will be sitting there just chatting. They're probably using just their regular radios on the frequency. They're on sideband. You can use sideband as well on local communications, of course, but FM is interesting. It's kind of fun. But yeah, you hear those guys, and then the conditions means their signals are coming into an entirely different part of the world, and you hear someone try and get in there and get a radio signal report, and they're like, "We're just chatting, man." And well, they're generally, people are nice and they'll give you a report. And anyhow, the 10-meter band's flexible. You can support Nova Scotia. All right. It's interesting to hear with these guys, and you can look them up on QRZ. You can find out all kinds of stuff. Propagation's so cool on 10 meters, but the flexibility of use.
Very nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you, and thank you for the show. I hope you can send us up some warm weather. It's cold in Nova Scotia, -6 Celsius and snowing.
But you know, the 10-meter band supports local and long distance. It's pretty versatile. So
Delta Whiskey Echo. Oh, we'd like to have a summer day. It's a cold winter day here in Nova Scotia. Cold winter day, Helda. Thank you so much for this show, my friend.
there's some interesting stuff with repeaters too on 10-meter. When I first became a technician, someone had a 2-meter. I forget what it was, but they had it. I can't remember how they had it set up, but we were able to use that repeater on 10 meters FM. That was pretty cool. So radios, you can use all kinds of radios on different kinds of radios on 10 meters. This 7300, Kenwood's 590 SG is excellent. Yaesu, I mean, pretty much any ham radio, HF radio is going to have 10-meter capabilities. Lots of cool radios out there, and there's kind of interesting too. There's lots of radios that can modify to do the CB 11 meters. So you have radios that will do 10, 11, and 12, and you can mod those and stuff. But you know, that's something, a totally entirely different conversation. But anyhow, just a little bit about 10 meters, you guys. Thanks for listening. Have a good one. All right. I'm going to tune around the band here.
US 2069, that's 2069 Harriman State Park, QSO? Yeah, QSO, John, you're 59 plus also, Nebraska, November Echo. I copy the 599.
Let's listen to some CW and digital real quick. This one is actually that first one I heard is actually probably a person doing more. These other ones, a lot of times people are using keyboards and computers. Like that's ridiculous to me. How am I supposed to do that? You have to have a computer set up. Alright, you guys, there's a taste of that too. So, thanks for watching. Characteristics of 10 meters, I guess. Alright, have a good one.